The first thing I want to hear about is I'm still like following your progress since you fasted. You ended your fast around 2 weeks ago. You fasted on water for 7 days.
Right.
And you know, there's a myth that I hear all the time. People say that when you come off a fast, you end up eating like a pig and putting all the weight that you lost back on. Has that been true of you?
No. Oh. Are you kidding?
How have you been eating? Tell us about how you've been eating.
Eating like a pig.
Are you talking the bar?
No, I was asking how you've been eating since the fast.
I'm one of those lucky people that can eat whatever they want. No, I'm just kidding. I am in a way. I want to be a person that can eat whatever they want and have a great body. So I actually changed my body chemistry, so that is the truth for me. That said, I gravitate towards foods that make me feel good, and they are not junk food, fast food, that kind of crap. So I eat whatever I want. I'm attracted to things that are will fuel my body in the way that I want it to. So, you know, makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Totally.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally I eat something that I know, like, you know, it's kind of like something that I wouldn't eat every day. It's not going to make me feel good on a daily basis. But once in a while it's okay. I enjoy it. I don't feel bad about it. And there really isn't any, you know, bad consequences for that. It's what you do every day. It's not what you do once in a while.
I know something that I want you to test.
Okay.
So hold up your hand so people can see you test. And I want you to test, since I came off my fast, have I been making better food choices than before I went on it? Better for my health?
Yeah.
So you get yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're different food choices, which is strange. I mean, I don't know if it's strange, but like I said this before, I don't know if I said it on the show or at the meeting, but I'm not attracted to sweet anymore, more of a salty kind of thing, where before I didn't really like salty stuff. I like sweet stuff. And that might have something to do with the thyroid nodule attracting the iodine.
Right.
I'm just going with it, you know. I'm just listening to my body and eating what I feel like, what I'm attracted to.
So during the water fast, it seems as though you've lost your taste for sweets.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I can eat sweets if I want. I don't put them in a bad food category. You know, I have it around the house. My husband, he loves chocolate. It's around there if I want it. But I just don't have any interest in it. Whereas before, you know, I really would choose that over more savory flavors any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the water fast changed something, for sure.
Well, see, that's important.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it is.
It's a very important result for people to understand about a water fast, because, you see, I have this thing I always say about fasting, which is that fasting normalizes everything.
It does. What's most important, I think, and you mentioned this at the beginning, is what you do after the fast. That's where you can get yourself into trouble.
Yeah.
And I will elaborate and say that you know, you've done the fast. You know, most people can get through a fast. But then afterwards, like you said, they want to eat all this stuff that they didn't have over the week. And I did a month-long preparation before the fast, so I really felt like I had not had a lot of foods that I normally want to eat. And so there was this, like, a little bit, you know, like I wanted to try different things, but I knew, like, you know, just take it easy, and after a few days kind of normalized, and I didn't want to overeat or eat a bunch of bad food that I was missing.
Uh-huh.
And that's where you have to be careful, because, you know, you have done this cleansing thing, and then, you know, to put a bunch of junk into your body after that, really not good for you. So, you know, if you think you're going to do that after a fast, then forget the fast. Just don't do it, because you do more damage after than just not doing it at all.
Well, I have, see, I have a further theory about fasting that I want to go into, but it's really a theory about just about anything.
Well, I want to hear it.
Okay, which is that when something works a certain way for one person, you know how people always say different things work for different people?
Yes.
That's absolutely untrue. The same things work the same ways for everybody. That's the truth. And, you know, you'll see these people who do The Biggest Loser and they win.
Right.
And then they go home and they put all the weight back on.
Right.
They use the money they won to buy, like, junk to eat.
Yeah.
Right. To make themselves fat again. And people think, you know, that the regimen caused that, but actually the truth is they were probably okay for a while, but they had nothing else in their life than acting out that way with food.
Yeah.
So after a while they sort of readopted those things and they just fell back into it.
Right.
Whatever it was. So really, because they were, see, people who win The Biggest Loser, they're doing a fast on The Biggest Loser. They're just fasting on whatever it is they eat on that show. You know, pork chops and stuff they eat, things like that. You know, they're fasting on pork chops and potatoes and whatever. But they're combining them in different ways, and it's more of a healthy way of doing it, and also more of a weight loss way of doing it.
Yeah.
But they eat, you know, they still eat the normal things that were rather, I probably shouldn't say normal. I should probably say usual.
Yeah.
The usual things that you see people eating, they eat those things too. And they end up a lot lighter. They do a lot of exercise.
Yeah, and they have this big support system. I've never watched the show, but I have an idea. I know the premise, and I mean, they have this huge support system. They have people cooking and training them, and you know, it gets them excited and it motivates them to do that. And they go home and, you know, they've made these great changes, but then the life, whatever, you know, they return to normal, and then the old behaviors come back, the way they deal with stress and emotional stuff, and you know, they got fat from doing that. So it's, you know,
people get fat from stress.
Yeah.
And you know, Franny has been eating more potatoes lately.
I love potatoes.
And more vegetarian lunches and dinners too.
Yeah. And how's that going?
Well, one thing I notice is she seems to be happier. Which is something I notice about you. You're happy.
Well, I don't have all those, you know, dead animal vibes in my body.
True.
And you know, if you eat whatever, animals that are killed in a humane way, that's different than factory farmed animals that are pumped up full of chemicals, antibiotics, given food that's not natural for them, live a torturous, abused life, and then are killed, and you want to ingest that in your body? Okay, I won't say anything more.
You know, I have a suggestion. I just watched a movie called Food, Inc.
Oh yeah, that's an eye-opener.
You've seen that movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got it out of the library system here, and no sooner had I sent it back to the library after watching it than I look on the web. I was doing, you know, watching the McDougall movie, you know, videos on the web. You know, that's where Franny and I sit and listen to them at lunch sometimes together. They're great, you know, and there's Food Inc. The complete movie. You can just click and play it. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So anybody watching this movie now knows they can watch Food Inc. and you see these cattle standing up to their stomachs in poop.
Yeah.
That's how they live.
Yeah, it's not a life. It's horrible. I mean, I can't even, it's hard for me to think about that. It's hard for me to watch those kind of documentaries. I have watched them. I'm aware of it, which is why I eat the way I do. But if I think about it, it just really bums me out.
Well, don't think about it then.
But you brought it up.
I'm just kidding. Actually, the thing to do...
I have to think about the Happy McDougall potatoes.
Let's everybody, all three of us right now, you, me, and Barb, are going to say that I am now linking my gravitational body with all the cattle standing knee-deep in poop.
That's what I always do right before I eat them. Well, think of all those potatoes in trucks and going into that deep fryer and stuff.
And
don't eat fried potatoes.
The potatoes are screaming as they fall into the deep fryer.
Oh man, big trucks all packed together.
Well, do you have Netflix streaming
online? Yeah, I do. Well, yeah, I think I do. Yeah. Why?
There's another good documentary. It's not so graphic about the meat, but it's called Hungry for a Change. And it's about weight loss, the dieting industry. It's pretty good.
Right.
And that one, Forks Over Knives, is a good one, too. I think that's what it's called. Forks Over Knives. I think that's another good.
I haven't seen it, but I saw the ad.
You know, the funny thing is, like, the people don't realize when they look at the three of us, they think, oh, well, these people, they can eat anything they want. They're always going to be skinny and so on. But the truth is, we'd be fat. If we weren't, if we weren't the way we were, we'd be fat. I would definitely. I used to be fat. I was a fat kid, very unhealthy.
I think we eat anything we want, but we don't want what people think that we want. If you could do that.
Well, you think about what's in a lot of the food that's available to us now. I think about that and I feel duped by these huge food companies, and I don't want to eat their food. You know, they put all kinds of crap in there and addictive, substances, and I'm like, I'm not gonna eat that. You know, I'm not an idiot. I don't mean to put people down because they don't. A lot of people don't realize it. That you got to educate yourself about what's.
They're not even really duping people. They just do that, and people like it. I don't like the way I feel afterwards. And I heard somebody say recently, and I used to say this a lot to people, like, unless you've actually, I think I've heard you say this too, Jen. Unless you've experienced like what it is to feel good or be in great for, hardly know what you're missing. So.
Right. Exactly. That's true.
Eat something just to, get a quick, nice feeling, but the after effects, once you're feeling well, are very worth it.
It's the same.
I don't think I've ever eaten that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I know, and a lot of people go through their entire lives without knowing what it is to feel healthy and fit. Like, you could run down the street and defend yourself, and just these things that you take for granted when you are that way. And when you've had that, you don't want to go back there. You're just not going to be attracted to that kind of food and sitting around and,
You have to really push yourself to get to that place, though, I think. At least some point in your life to experience that. And then to keep it.
Yeah, but it's never too late, really.
No.
My father has a website called Senior Exercise Central. It used to be called Gray Iron, but he changed the name. And it's a huge website for
Oh my God,
people over
I have to look them up. That's great. Did you know that Santa Fe, New Mexico has more people over 50 than any other city in like America per capita even? And that we had this,
know that.
like what's called Age Nation. There's a new thing called agenation.org. It's a really amazing website. It's kind of like the new AARP, but it's for people. So we had a good edit with them. I'm gonna put immunization and chop it on there. My healthy chocolate. I met the people that are designing it. AgeNation.com it's called. It's pretty cool. It's a big website. It's a club. It's a thing you join.
Well, they must be fit people, because when you go to Santa Fe, I don't see it as like, the...
Well, they are. It's a new city to retire in, I guess. And there's more people over in the country. Like something like 3,000 people turn 60 every day in America.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy. Big slice of the population. So your dad's website might get popular.
Yeah, it's pretty popular. Anyway, he gets a lot. He's been fit his whole life. He was a bodybuilder and a martial artist, and I mean that's what he does. And he started this website maybe 10 years ago, just for something to do, because that's what he's interested in. And he's written 2 books, or maybe even more, I don't know. But it's a pretty good site. And like he says, it's never too late to start. You can get fit over 50, 60, 70. I mean, maybe you're not going to feel like 30, but if you never have been fit, you'll definitely notice a change.
I'm almost 70 years old,
Yeah, my dad.
It's never too late to still get fit, but...
My dad can knock out, push-ups for days. Really, really.
So that's how
you gotta tweet us a link to his website.
I will. He's really cool.
So that's how you learned how to get into martial arts and everything.
Yes, I mean both my parents were fitness fanatics back in the day. When they were called health nuts. I mean, I went to a Catholic school, and they all ate, bologna with white bread and mayonnaise, and I had the wheat bread with the natural peanut butter, like, I'm abused, with this word.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, now, okay, so now we're gonna...
Let's talk about flu season.
the thing is, before we get off this topic of the fast, just to sum up what we've learned in this short conversation.
Yes.
It is that fasting is good for you, and it does not have a negative side effects, and after the fast you're reset. You're like, a lot of things just get reset in a good way, and they'll stay that way for a while. And in order to use a fast properly, you really have to change your life in other ways.
Yeah.
So
and it's a good springboard for doing that.
And also that means that, see, we cure things, and the kind of things that we cure enable people to change their lives so that they don't go back to the thing that made them, need to fast in the first place.
Exactly.
So that's what's important. Okay. So that's the summary of this little piece of the fast, I just think it's important. We had this really nice movie the day you came off your fast, and we saw your accomplishments, and I think it's important to see you a few weeks later and realize that you're not now sitting on the couch, eating chocolate and going, oh God, I felt so awful on that fast, and I'm just making up for it. That isn't happening.
Oh, I'm hiding it all in this big sweater, Yeah, no, that didn't happen. And I'm still, you know, after the fast, you have the benefits of the fast for a long time after.
Yeah, a long time.
Really, you do.
Yeah, with the Kalima fasting, it's recommended that you fast, do a Kalima fast about every 7 weeks for a week.
Now, I don't know what the Kalima fast is. I think I saw it on the Hub a long time ago.
It's with a bulking agent. You do it with a bulking agent, and the Kalima is a type of continuous enema that's self-administered. So that's, but it basically, the thing about the Kalima fast is the bulking agent, and the rhythm of it is, you know, every 7 weeks.
Okay.
And you use the Kalima to wash out the bulking agent.
Right. Got it.
And you can use the bulking agent without doing Kalimas and without doing a fast. And a lot of people just put a little in, you know, in their breakfast food because it's in small quantities it acts as a laxative, and in large quantities it can stop you up.
Okay.
But in small quantities it acts as it's a laxative. It's fiber, you know.
So like psyllium?
Yeah, psyllium.
Okay.
And what I use, I just use plain psyllium when I do it.
Yeah, I could use psyllium.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
You know? So it's cheap. You get a big bag of it for like, you know, $10. It lasts forever for all that you're going to use. You know? Okay, so now another thing that we should understand is, let's hold your hands up and test, does fasting cure the flu? Barb, what do you get when you test that? Hold your hand up so we can see your finger, Barb.
Yes. Yes.
I get a yes.
Yes.
Okay. Does it take over a day?
Over a day of fasting?
Yeah, to cure the flu.
No.
No.
Okay. When I used to get the flu, I didn't know how to cure it, so I cured it with fasting years and years ago, like back in the 80s and the 70s. And it usually would disappear in about 2 or 3 days. I would do a limited fast, like with, you know, pineapples and carrots and stuff like that to, you know, kill the bacteria and just wash whatever it was through. Hold up your fingers and test this. Barb, finger. Can I cure the flu without fasting?
I get a yes.
And Barb?
Yes.
Now you both have.
I have cured the flu without.
I cured it by eating. I cured it by eating other than this. I could feel it. I ate something that counteracted it.
All right. So let's hear your stories about curing the flu. Barb was saying she had one try to come on a few weeks ago even.
Oh yeah.
This movie was given to you by HUM, the World Ministry of Immunics, which enables you to cure medically incurable diseases. We also produce the Cure Drive and the iCollege of Immunics. This is the home page. And as you see here, the movie that starts playing automatically when the page opens is a 3-hour tutorial film, which underneath it is the beginning of a series of movies. If you click on these links, you go to another movie that's a continuation of the tutorial, showing different aspects of the things that people need to get into when they cure things. The movie shows many people curing things. You'll find complete cure tutorials on the home page. Under the group at the top is another. This is a video and text tutorial, and if you click on the link, you'll see it has 10 lessons, and you can click on each lesson and you'll see that the lessons are movies interspersed with explanations. And if you continue scrolling down the home page, you'll find a huge bank of movies of people curing things. Here's one of someone curing multiple sclerosis that you can click on and these play. Hopefully this one will play in a moment. There it is. So that woman cured PPMS and MS. Here you'll find people from every continent: Europe, the US, Asia, Canada. This woman cured shingles, and in this particular movie that's what she's demonstrating. And at the top of the home page you will find links to the cure meetings that we have every week. 9 p.m. New York time, Rome time, 8 p.m. Underneath the cure meetings, you'll find a link to friend me. It's actually Byard. I'm Byard, speaking to you on Facebook. And you'll meet many people who are my Facebook friends there who have cured various diseases. Many of us have cured herpes, which is what I cured. Also there, if you have trouble getting signals, there is a whole bank of movies that focus on people who are just starting to get their first signals. Many of these people went on to bigger and better things, and you see them in other movies. But these are movies about their signals, how they got their first signals. At the very top of the home page, you will find above the masthead a link to the cure shows. And we documented people curing things on, these are on the, we did this on the phone. There are shows on about 75 diseases, and the diseases are listed alphabetically, as you can see. You actually hear the people curing these diseases during these shows. That's post-traumatic stress syndrome from 9/11, you know, the catastrophe. We have a show on that, and fever, somebody curing the fever, several people curing fibromyalgia, flu. We had a flu hotline, and there are many people. These people are actually curing flu, and the flu stops. It clears up during the 15 or 20 minutes of the call. It doesn't take long to cure the flu. Over here you have paralysis, parasitic parenting, Parkinson's disease. When you cure something, please join your voice with the voices of the many people who came before you by reporting your cure in our poll, which you can do right above the tally of the cures that people have reported, is here at the top. And as you can see, there's a little link here. And if you click on that, you will come to a form that enables you to report your cure. This page is the hub of the Web College, and as you can see, there are detailed lessons on how to remove viruses, cure cancer. Here's a movie on the right here of a doctor who actually years ago cured the flu on camera. You'll notice that skill 1 in the hierarchy of skills is cure physical diseases. That's actually the easiest thing with this particular approach. And I've put a great many things in the hierarchy of skills that relate to curing physical diseases, such as ending trauma, working on your organs. Now, if we go into the Recode Your DNA, there are 10 applications or 11 applications, and Recode Your DNA is one of them. If we go inside here, what we see is a page with a huge amount of links. And then if we look at the links on the right, after the ones on the left which prepare you, these are the actual lessons. And you can see some of them. It might be hard for some people to see why blind installation procedure is related to recoding your DNA. And this is why we've put it in this application, so that it relates it in your mind. This is the reason the Webb College is organized the way it is to relate things for you in your mind. And obviously there are a huge number of things, like if you're curing cancer or herpes or any medically incurable disease, it's obvious that there are a great many things that you have to learn. And they're different for everybody. You do not have to learn everything that's listed here. And in fact, cure is instantaneous. And it's always unexpected how it will come. Like, watch these women. They're going to give you a perspective. This is a good way to conclude this little overview I'm giving you here. Say, can I go to the 144th dimension? See if you get a signal on that. Can I go to the 144th dimension?
Can I go to the 144th dimension? Yes? I guess I can.
Go ahead and do it.
Okay,
Okay.
both of you go to the 144th dimension.
I'm taking myself to the 144th dimension.
Me too.
No stopping for gas on the 8th dimension.
I feel clear.
Yeah, I feel less interested in anything below the 144th dimension.
Can we stay here all the time?
I know, exactly.
Well, I mean, this would take a lot of backstory, but there are some decisions that my family's making that I now feel clear about.
Yes, because when you have that perspective from the 144th dimension,
Yeah.
you simply don't care about anything as much.
That's exactly it. But I don't care doesn't sound so good.
Well, see, that's right.
But it's it. That's really
Not in effect.
When people hear we say we don't care, they go, "Well, God, that's sick," you know.
I know. It's a good thing.